It says 100.9 FM. Hey, WXIR, Extreme Independent Radio. In Rochester, NY, and online at 109WXIR.com.
You already know what it is. Another Monday down here at 100.9 FM WXIR Extreme Independent Radio. You're not rocking out with Love and Situationships. It's your boy, Reggie Royale. Hey, young world. Got the lovely, the gorgeous, the beautiful, the intelligent, the talented. Anything else? Miss Raquel in the building.
Radiant. Stunning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if we're going to keep the conversation.
We'll be here for the rest of the show.
Okay, well,
if we're going to go that route, we'll be here for another hour and a half. You feel me?
Her smile fills the room.
Oh, man.
Lord, y'all
Man,
listen. I wasn't expecting
I'm sorry. I like the
okay.
ladies, Reggie.
All right. Okay.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right.
And we got a couple special guests in the building. Fellas, on my left, what's going on, E?
Oh, it ain't really nothing. You know, I'm fresh. I got back last night, like 2 a.m. I didn't sleep yet. I'm still upset that I woke up in Rochester, man. It's hard to get me back every time.
Sorry, man.
Los Angeles is just that. And, you know, I do so much out there that coming back here where it's just like I'm going to lay around for the next couple months and just be like, I need to get back. That's how it goes every time.
Hey, you gotta get out there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, why not? We got E in the building. Appreciate you showing up, brother.
Yeah, Rick Tony in the building. I actually started here.
Okay.
Like a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good to come back.
Come
right?
back home. Yeah.
The roots, and of course we got.
Oh man, I go by so many different names. Depends on what phase I'm in.
Okay.
Well, who are you today?
Right now, today I'm Big Him.
Okay.
Big him,
Big him. Let them know why you're Big Him.
The stature says it for itself.
All right.
Well, shout out to everybody on Facebook.
But we're peaceful
Live.
though. Like, it don't matter how we come off.
Right.
You know, I'm a hugger.
Is that a teddy bear on his shirt? Yeah.
It
yeah.
is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He's a big peaceful guy. Yeah.
Peaceful teddy bear.
But we appreciate you brothers for coming in.
Absolutely.
You know, how was y'all weekend? Everybody had a good peaceful weekend.
Mine was in there. Just know I landed like last Tuesday and I woke up back home last night. And, this morning and I was just like, it's over.
What do you do in L.A.?
I do radio. I'm a national radio host.
Oh,
actually.
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You have such a radio voice too.
Thank you. That's what they told me back in 2012. But the guy who actually put me on heard me ordering coffee and he just gave me his card.
That's funny.
That's
11
amazing.
years later, I'm
That's
here.
funny.
And I am the greatest radio host that's ever existed.
Look
I don't
at
let
that
anybody
flavor.
tell me anything different.
Look
You
at
know
that
it's crazy.
flavor.
'cause
Now, when did that voice develop? When you was like 11, 12 years old, talking like.
I kind of was young on the grown people chat line.
Okay.
And because of that, I had to like mature my voice fast. Plus, I was going to a Catholic school surrounded by white people.
Okay.
So my voice had it turned
Stood
white.
out.
Yeah, but as it was getting heavy and it took all that in, I went to public school after that because you know we're not going to call it what it is, but the white privilege. We'll use that term.
Yeah.
I had to leave. Then I go back to public school and it was still forming. So it was like the mesh of all that at the right time with it being heavy already. Fast forward about 20 years and this is what you got.
Okay.
I'm going to sell it for $1 million this year.
Why not?
I told myself that last year.
Why
This
not?
is the year.
Why not?
Speak that. I hear
I'm gonna
it.
use
I
your
love
voice
that.
as an AI generator. Watch. I'm gonna take his voice.
I
make it
want to be a
mine.
Marvel villain so bad.
Not a Marvel villain.
I'm at the table and I know people at Marvel and they have my voice. It's just a matter of what do we do with it. So yeah. But the topic, let's get into it, man. It's like,
yeah, we're gonna get Diallo in here, man. How was your weekend?
it was cool. I spent it with my kids.
Okay.
That's dope.
Single dad life a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you gotta appreciate it.
Salute
Though.
for that too.
Appreciate it.
You know. Yeah.
Shout out to the
I was
youth.
in radio for a minute. I did 106.3 for like 3 years.
Oh, word.
Okay.
That's a station I've never even ran across the whole time I've been doing this.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a couple radio interviews here. A couple times. So I've been in the building. But I had a show for 3 years over there. And yeah, they didn't want to pay me my asking price. So here we are.
Okay.
That's why I'm never here anymore.
Yeah.
My price don't went up to a point. I don't think Rochester can afford it.
Yeah.
That's today's prices, not today's
They
prices. I know
definitely
that's
can't
right.
afford it.
It's
Well, we
just-
appreciate y'all coming in. How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was lovely.
That's what's up.
I'm just gonna leave it like that.
That's what's up.
Okay. We don't
had
need
a
details.
time last
You know,
night.
I mean, you know.
We had a time
Listen,
last
this is my
night.
year
But
where
why
I'm gonna
she
let
stroke them
somebody's
braids
son
like
love
that?
on me. That's all I'm saying.
Why
That's
she
great
stroke
to hear.
them braids like that?
Because you know what's gonna be happening.
Sound like
you
date
know.
night. Date night went good.
Date night was great.
Okay, we don't need details.
That's that date night here,
As
bro.
much as I woke up screaming
Shout
for
out, shout out to that young man. I appreciate you, bro. She came
you
in.
was in a
That
great
young man
She
came-
glowing.
That young man came a ways just
Yeah.
to take me on a date.
Hey.
That's all I'm
Ways.
saying. He came
Oh,
a ways.
hey.
Y'all see the price of gas?
And it'd be
Applaud
hard to get
that young
somebody
man.
right here in Rochester
See,
to take me somewhere.
We just had that
You
conversation.
know what's
last
crazy?
That's all
week.
I'ma say.
I'm
We just had
gonna
that
play
conversation.
devil's advocate to that
I
statement.
don't know
that
why you gotta
just
play devil's
made.
advocate.
Because when you say to get somebody in Rochester, to just say to get somebody in Rochester that you liked to do it was difficult.
That's kind of
that too.
That's kind of
Okay.
that's kind of inferred. You feel me? You're not gonna
That's
go out
what
with
I'm
somebody
saying.
that you don't
Exactly. I'm
like.
not going out with somebody I
I've
like.
done it.
I've done it.
Y'all going out with people you
Why
don't
would you
like.
do that?
I mean,
I was hungry.
It wasn't even.
She fed you?
It wasn't
I
even.
mean,
like,
I paid, but I was going to eat anyway.
no,
Oh,
but
I
the thing
hear
with
you.
me was
That's
like,
nice.
it wasn't even like a matter of. I didn't want to, because if I go on a date with you, I have some interest, or it's
I would
not
hope
even
so.
that. No, it's
Facts,
not even
facts.
that though.
Facts.
Like honestly, I don't do that on the first date.
I
Like
feel
women have thrown it at me, I'm like at the same time, we could say, oh yeah, she gave it to me on the first night, but think about how that makes us look too as a man, especially
you
as a
look like a
man
skeezer.
that has a reputation of being. And I'm really not trying to be that way.
Yeah, I feel you. But I still would not go on a date.
I mean, the date
with
is
You don't like
someone that I
somebody.
don't like.
But you don't know that you don't like them until you go to the
Yeah,
date.
you do.
The dates
you
would
do.
let you know if you like them
Well,
or
not
not.
necessarily. Like if you got those intentions, I already got everything sealed off.
But
before.
here's my thing.
I mean, because you could be attracted to their like looks, but you might not like their vibe. You might not like their conversation. That all plays
and
a
so
part
here's my
into
thing, and I'm
liking
not
somebody.
going unless I like the vibe, unless I like the conversation.
what if it's like-
you can't just meet me and be like, oh, I want to take you out. No,
Yeah,
you
you
cannot.
we gotta
got
talk
to meet
first.
Me, you got to talk to me. We got
Yeah.
to build a something.
People can tell you anything in the talking stage.
I hear you,
That's
but
a- that's a
you know,
complete fact.
That's very
That's
true.
a
But I
complete
also
fact.
feel like you have to be able to have some type of discernment too. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
what is it if y'all go on the first date, right?
Uh-huh.
And like it's there, but the man is like, he's someone that I'm not tonight. Why are you looking at me like that? This is like absolutely not, and I'm this way. So I will not make a move for that on the first date because I know.
I mean, everybody do what they gonna do.
Yeah, you gotta
know
feel
what I
the
mean?
vibes.
It's-
You gotta feel the
it's
vibes.
You got to check the
Yeah.
temperature in the room.
Well,
You gotta
I've
check
done
the
it,
temperature.
and I've actually done it recently. Well, not in the last, but it's happened. But it's happened.
About to blow your own spot up, bro. You gotta,
I'll bring Tony. What do you know?
Sometimes you can have a great time without anything physical
That's a
happening.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I mean?
I've been on
and it
dates
could
like
just-
that.
Yeah, it
But-
could just be an amazing time.
And there's
amazing
also been times
conversation.
where everything was there and it was hitting, and like she's throwing that like, oh yeah, we about to, and I'm just like, no, we're not.
Oh, okay.
Like,
You a
But
G.
you listen, you know,
You a G.
you have your standards.
You a G,
I know that's
yeah.
right.
and
I
I mean,
mean-
these are bad females. too.
Everything that glitter ain't gold.
That's a whole fact.
So it's like, I mean, we ain't gonna sit here and act like nobody ain't ever went home on the first night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a man of the moment. You feel me?
Yeah.
I
Me too.
appreciate moments.
I live
so.
in those moments.
Yeah,
Like,
if
It
it's
depends.
because you never know, you might never get that a moment again.
you feel me?
feel me?
I
Well,
live in that
You
moment.
try
It
to spin,
just
you try to
depends.
spin the block. She
Okay,
like, nah,
but
I'm
with
good.
that, y'all do know the disparity between male female out here because of incarceration.
Oh yeah, we winning.
It's like 13-1.
See, the breed that I am, we're winning.
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm
feel
saying.
me?
It's
If
like
you're a certain
13-1.
type of- If you're a certain type of gentleman, you know you're gonna win regardless. You feel me?
It's a double-edged sword.
Man, listen.
You got those women who
Man,
don't
you
want
gotta
a gentleman at
understand,
all.
Man,
a lot of
listen.
women thrive in toxicity.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So if you not toxic enough, she don't see you as attractive.
And that's cool.
Right.
That's completely fine.
And you
with
know,
me.
Yeah, because you ain't looking for that type of
That-
woman.
that's
everything
completely
ain't
what I'm
glitter
saying.
ain't gold.
Exactly.
So if I
It all
find out,
depends on what
so
you
if I find,
entertain.
yeah, if I find
Yeah.
out that you're toxic, it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna win. You feel me? Because I know that I'm gonna win with somebody else. Like I'm the one with some of the
Absolutely.
baddest
We
out
don't
here
even
because
entertain
I
that.
don't entertain the toxicity. They don't see me in circles. They don't see me doing certain things.
Yeah.
You feel me? So the ones that I do get be top tier. You feel me? Top tier always.
I need
I
to
ain't
hang
gonna
out
act
with you.
like
Yes.
they all
It's
ain't
what you
they all ain't
entertain,
been
though.
top tier. You know, I had a couple swing and misses. You feel me?
I haven't had honestly, and I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck, right? The women that I've dated in the past years, right, and even before, you know, it's been since college since I've had somebody that wasn't like of high caliber. You feel me? Because of the position that I put myself and my parents put me in, and the people that I'm around, right?
Yeah.
Because when you do different things, they see you in different lights. You attract different women. You attract who you are.
Yeah.
You feel me? So,
sure.
and it's not even to like boost my own ego or nothing like that. It's just like if you're doing the right things, you attract somebody that's dope. regardless.
That's
yeah,
true.
and even if you don't, you just have to weed out.
You have to
you
know,
have to know what to entertain and what not to
yeah.
entertain.
Because I done came across.
Now I can tell you all
wasn't-
this from experience though. With me, I actually, because of how much as confident as I came off at this time, I was so emotionally broken that how I came off versus who I was not the same person. And that person that I was trying not to be would get out. If we go drinking, about 4 in, I'm not this me anymore. I'm that obnoxious. Look, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm leaving here at 11:30 and I'm going here. You can come with me or this is what happened. But as time and through therapy and then coming in with my own, I've now gotten out in front of that and but I'm just saying that was always a part of me. And the thing was is as much as I came off or held it together out here, once that other side of me got out that I was actually running from, and he was coming. I couldn't even get away from it.
Be there regardless.
I could 2-3 dates in, he's still not there, he's coming.
So Rick, Tony, you talked about therapy, you talked about growth, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where our topic is going today, right? If you've been sticking with us, last month we talked about Dr. Shahrazad Ali, her book where she wrote about the Black woman's guide to understanding Black men, right? And we kind of picked the ladies apart. You feel me? Picked them apart to what we seen that what she saw in the early 90s that's going on today, right? And we wanted to make sure that we made it fair and talk to the fellas as well. You feel me? Because a lot of us, we do have to go through a lot of things and we experience a lot of things. And some of us experience them a little bit more than others, and it forces us to be trapped in this box, right? So we want to make sure that we speak to the fellas to get them to a point where you can attract somebody that's top tier, or you can be your best self for your kids, for your family, for your community, because that's the point, right? It's not a matter of getting as much money as you can. It's not a matter of being as fly as you can. Those things come with it when you get to that point, right? Because then you're able to provide for your family, you're able to provide for your kids, and be a great member of your community and society. And the more that we do that, the more we will build. You feel me? So we're gonna have this conversation. I'm glad I got you.
Go.
I got you fellas in the building. Before we got Big Him in the building.
Okay, Big Him.
We got nationally recognized radio voice Rick Tony in the building.
Hey, a Marvel villain coming soon.
That's
I am not
speaking
playing.
into existence. You
I
feel
am
me?
not playing.
They talk about getting rid of old boy Johnny Majors.
And James Earl Jones just retired, so there we go.
You feel me?
It's
Like,
the
come on,
spot's
now.
there.
Come on now. You
Hollywood call me, man.
You
Like
feel
I've
me?
been
The
out,
void
I can't even
needs
afford
to
to
be
go back
filled.
for a while. That's how many times I
okay.
done went out there. And
the void definitely needs to be filled, and if anybody, why not somebody from Rochester, right?
Period.
I don't claim Rochester. Actually,
Oh,
my birth
okay.
certificate says Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well then, that's why he got on the Rams hoodie right now.
Oh no, I'm Rams fan too. 1999 at Rollins Camp.
So one of the things, we actually read this article that mentions 6 policies that would address some of the social issues that our young boys are facing, right?
Yeah.
For anybody who don't know, I recently just got a job with the county working
Congratulations.
as a youth detention worker,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
That's dope.
So it's
It's a great place for a Black man to be.
You
too.
feel me?
Absolutely.
We need more of us in there that's like that. You feel me? So we can try to not necessarily change these young men, but get them to realize the bigger picture, right? Get them to realize that their current circumstance isn't their final destination.
Right.
Your biggest mistake doesn't determine who you are, right? You feel me? And what we've noticed is that a lot of our young men, they get caught in that system, and the recidivism, it keeps happening over and over again, and to the point where it says that 32% of the prison population is us,
Right.
but we're only 6% of the actual U.S. population, right?
That lies the problem in itself.
That's you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, how can we be the highest incarcerated? And we know there's a lot of factors that go into that, right?
Right.
What do you guys think about that in terms of, us being the most popular?
Well, a lot of it comes from miseducation. Like if the school system was actually beneficial in the curriculum towards us, we see more pride in what we are. But when you walk in the first grade, they hand you this picture of a Christopher Columbus who allegedly, discovered this country and was great.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Quote unquote.
He was never even on the continent, but yeah. And then right there is teaching you that you're inferior. So we grow up with like that standard that, okay, we can be great, but we can never be better than them. And this is something that I remember being 9, 10 years old and thinking, wow, like my hair was blonde and, you know, I had all and thin lips, I would be out there killing everything. Because my neighbor was the same age as me and I was smarter than him, but he got more recognition, you know.
Yeah.
But versus what we have to deal with and the way these inner cities work, and like even with education, like I'm not sure if it still is, but the same contract that feeds the prisons at one time for 23 years fed the schools.
That's insane.
So what's the difference?
And we know what we eat is important, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it started a lot in school because they don't teach us black history. Like
The right
the
way.
real black history.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The right
Like
way.
I feel like it should be a course nationally, worldwide. It's things that we as black people should know. It shouldn't take for us to see hidden figures to figure out that black women help put people in space.
Yeah, that's a
Or it shouldn't take for us to have to do research to know that our black ancestors created the stoplight and stuff of that
pyramids
nature.
that they
You see
still
what I'm
can't
saying?
figure out.
So it's like, you know, we need our own history to teach us as we grow. We get teach a history that has nothing to you see what I'm saying?
It's
Like
their history.
we get 28 days in 1 month, and they teach us about the same black people every year in high
Martin
school.
Luther King,
Harriet
Marcus
Tubman,
Garvey.
Sojourner Truth. You hear about them all your years of high school or all your years of school. Period.
Right.
You don't hear about
They got a
Nat
select few.
King Cole or other people.
Nat
Right.
Turner and all that.
Yeah, like
Sam Cooke.
you don't hear
The
about
first
them.
artists actually own their masters, things like
You
that.
tell me,
Yeah.
they don't teach us that.
So what we have to do is make sure that, you know, we definitely make sure we get these men and these young women around different environments, right? Because I can say that, you know, growing up, I had a mentor, you know, the Iglesias are amazing, you know, and Mrs. Iglesias, she would have us travel and we would meet other engineers, right? We were meeting people in college that were engineers and scientists and, you know, CEOs, you know, corporate 500 companies, right? And what they did was they used to have like a bowl, like a science bowl, right? And they have different random questions on science, on culture, and things like that. And one of the things that I really excelled at was knowing who the black engineers were, right? I would kill the whole, like Jeopardy style. I'm going 1 through 1,000. You feel me? And I'm getting them all. You feel me? Because I knew that it was a black man that created the first microchip. You feel me? For IBM. You feel me? I knew that, you know, a black woman was the one who came up, was one of the first millionaires off of hair products and things like that, you know.
You
But
never
that
hear
was
about that though.
Oh,
No,
but
they-
you
they
won't
ain't
hear
teaching
about
to
that.
us, yeah.
Right. But you won't hear about that unless you're in different environments, right? Unless, and a lot of us don't experience that until we get to college, right?
Right.
When you're able to venture out on your own and do your own studies. But if you have this knowledge right now, we can pass this down to our next generation. So, like you said, you being a single father, right? Your kid's gonna come home from school during Black History Month like, yo, they told me that, you know, the North thought that war was bad and that's why they fought the Civil War.
Not
And
at
you
all.
could be like,
Not
nah,
at all.
that's not why.
Not
They
at
had
all.
slaves up north
Yeah,
too.
they
right?
did. They ain't even gonna say they treated them different. They just had a different name for
They
them.
had it exactly, and they actually fought because, you know, they wanted to make sure that they didn't
Preserve
get
the
out.
Union.
They didn't want to get outvoted,
Yeah.
right? They because of how much a slave was worth and things like that in
Yeah.
the South. So that's where it makes it important for us to have this knowledge and we pass that down. So when they grow up,
Right.
you know, they could do the same
They won't
thing.
continue to be miseducated.
But how do we change this prison population though? What can we do about that to prevent them? Because we see the Kia boys out here bugging right now. So how do we prevent
Not even
these young
16
men?
years old. These kids are like
Yeah.
babies.
You want me to tell you what it is? I just feel like ain't no more big grandma. Ain't no more big ma. You know that lady who drag her feet around when she walks? She don't even walk. She just drag her feet and hum old. You know, she hum old Negro spirituals.
That's
like
House shoes in the
yeah,
old
like
roll.
the big grandma.
When you walk in,
Because
you know what the house gonna smell like.
you feel
Dinner.
me?
It smell like
But
it's gonna
see,
smell
now,
like dinner every time. She
I
ain't even got
think
nothing on the stove right now.
what it is with the culture is like nowadays the grandma's 40,
Is she even
45.
that?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's the mom and the daughter like best friends. You see what I'm saying? They in the club together. Like my mom in her 60s. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm in my 30s, so me and my mom ain't in no club together.
What about the
the bars with my mom?
what about his men though? Because like we can't control big mamas. Where's
We aren't there. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I could say it from I don't have any children. I got four kids that like they're mine. And in all 4 scenarios, there's no male, and that's why I think my presence is so heavy. But that goes back to like when welfare got established, and they told us like
you can't have a man in the house.
The man can't be here if you want to get these benefits.
Right. Facts.
Yeah, like we'll pay your health insurance,
Facts.
we'll give you rent, we'll pay your gas, and electric, but
no man can't live there.
So y'all feel that's a big part of it, because in turn the kid who is growing up without a male presence in the home now has to retort to seeing his mom dealing with multiple men.
I mean, you gotta
what they're getting outside of the house, because you can only shelter your kids when they're in the house. You know, I know this firsthand from when I was taught in the house versus when I got outside.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta protect your kids from other people's kids.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people's kids is ahead of their time. With I see kids 8, 9 years old, walking to the store and stuff. My kids are never. Like it's just certain things that you can't stop. Like, cause they go to school, they make friends and stuff like that. But other people let their kids do things that you won't allow your kids to do.
Right.
That becomes an influence. Then you got music, you got
which I don't know what is
all that type of stuff going on too. So it's like I feel like a lot of men growing up in single homes, a lot of men get sheltered, especially by a mom. And I say that when I say this because if you got a mom who has a daughter and a son, she's a lot harder on the daughter than she is on the son.
That's because she sees herself in the daughter, though.
So when the son she's going to baby him, coddle him, do his laundry. That's why you grow up with so many mama's boys that they don't look for a woman, they're looking for another mom because that's how they were raised. So dads being in the homes are very important, but it's like a topic that's never discussed.
Yeah, and I think it's important, though. So I think like more the topic or more of the conversation is how do we put the accountability back on black men to be around and to be present without blaming the woman. Or without blaming
There's a couple different ways you can get that, though.
But it's so many different scenarios.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Because you got some men who's just flat out deadbeats. But then you got some men who don't see their kids because the mom feels the type of way or she's bitter. Sometimes, most of the times, dudes just don't take the responsibility for it.
But why? That's what we want to know.
I want to take it back.
Okay, so being as though I just fought the system about it.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna fight the system.
I fought the
Get him, government.
The system is not designed for men.
Okay.
It's not designed for us to be fathers because a woman has a baby, right? She goes to DSS. Like, they automatically put her on DSS.
Right.
And that automatically, right then and there, puts us in a bind.
It lowers
whether
us.
we take care of our kid or not. They automatically slap you on child support as soon as she get benefits. So it's like, why am I paying child support for a kid I take care of? If she's getting those benefits, make her pay it back. Why you chopping my checks like this? Then it makes men not want to work because half your check go on to child support that you for a child you already support. So now you don't want to work and pay that $25 a month.
Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, because take it from me, man, listen.
Sorry.
They was taking $369 out my check a month for kids who lived in my house. It's ridiculous to me. But until you go fight, and even when you fight in the system as a father, it's mama's baby's daddy's maybe.
Yeah.
It's like the women get awarded custody of the kids as soon as they come out. And then now we're fighting from the ground up trying to get our rights to the kid.
And see, that's where a lot of this comes back to upbringing, right? Because I can honestly say myself, right? When I was working, I was making decent money. I didn't mind shooting my baby mom. My son's mother. Damn, you threw that BM word out there. You caught me. You caught me. Nah, my son's mother. I didn't mind shooting her money, right? So even if I was taking care of my kid, right? I was giving her $75 a week. That's $300 a month, right? Outside of what I would still want to do, I still got to make sure my son got sneakers. He still need a bed. He still need clothes, whatever, right? But that comes to when I'm making good money. Now, when I'm broke, you feel me? You got to work with me, and she's more than willing because she understands when I do got it, I got it.
Time spent with a kid means more than money spent.
And I get my son every week on top of that. So I'm giving her the bread. I'm doing the extra outside, and I'm getting my son every week.
But that's another reason why men don't, because like they don't feel like they don't have the financial means to do so, and then some women in this generation will put you down about it, make you feel terrible about not being able to provide. But in my mind, it's like time spent with a kid, especially when they're younger, means way more than money.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna play devil advocate real quick because I ain't no other women here. So do time spent like feed your child?
Not at all.
Do time spent keep a roof over their head?
Not at all.
But if I'm on child support for these food stamps that you getting,
well, every woman don't get food stamps. See, that's a generalization that you're making. Every woman don't get
That's
food
a
stamps.
fact.
Every woman is not on DSS.
That's
Every
a-
woman,
that's a
you know
true
what I'm saying?
fact.
So like, I get that time spent is important, but guess what? Unfortunately, we got to do both. right?
Well, I get that.
That's another, but with, like,
You gotta do both.
I get
But
it.
you
'cause, like,
can't-
As a mother,
you can't
even if
crucify
nobody's trying to. What I'm saying, as a mother, and I can only speak from being a mother. Unfortunately, I don't get the luxury to be like, I'm broke and I can't take care of my kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that luxury, right? So if I don't, then neither do you. Especially if you both have. If everybody, I didn't make a child by myself, right? He didn't make a child by himself. It took two people. So it's gonna take two people, regardless of whatever situation you in, whatever time you in it. You still have to do the best you can at all times.
And let's say, and this might not be with the children part of it, but does a woman ever consider what the toll of just having to be out here and be a man takes on us?
Ooh, that's tough.
Like.
Well, here's the thing.
They never want to walk in our shoes.
No, let me tell you something though.
Let me finish.
No, because you can't finish that. You know why?
I'm trying to.
You can't though. You can't because you're saying that to a woman who most of the time has her child, right? So you have to put yourself in her shoes. But I mean, you don't have kids. But I'm saying, like, for people who have kids, like, if you have a child and you're constantly with that child when they sick, when they're not sick, all these things, and then I have to, okay, yeah, I understand, baby, that you don't have the money to help me. But you know what? Anything, even if you had $10, $20, something, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. No, it is acceptable.
That's not acceptable. If you try to give a woman $20, she gonna look at you like you crazy.
Some women, right?
But at the end of the day, the main component of it is you can only control yourself.
That's it.
You can't control anybody else, right? So when it comes down to it, like, one thing that I had to figure out was like, yo, I'll figure it out.
You got to find a way to find a way.
And as a parent, we all do, right?
We all do.
We all do.
So
and I think that right there is something that is highly appreciated among any mother. You know what I mean? Like, if you can do the best that you can do and help me and not make me feel like everything has to be on me as the mother, I think that is more appreciated than anything else. Like, we appreciate that.
You know what's something that's going on a lot that, I mean, it's never really talked about, but I'm seeing it more and more every day. Single fathers.
Yeah, that's something that's coming
Single
up.
fathers is like a high commodity right now. And I didn't ever really understand it till my guys, it's a group of us, like 4 of us. 3 of us are single dads, like sole custody dads type things. Wow. And it's like, and then I know a couple more, and it's like I never knew this many. You feel me? Like,
it's like a sub community that nobody talks about.
How does that make you feel? Because you brought it up. So what does that mean to you?
I mean, I feel like it is progress for dads because it's like the good dads don't get credit. It's like, oh, you supposed to do that. But deadbeats get all the stats in the world.
Oh, that's because everything's being counted against them.
Right?
You see what I'm saying? Like,
they keep it tabs on what they're not doing.
But now you know how, honestly, how a single mother
But y'all get praised for that.
Who get praised for it?
I've seen a lot of women get praised for being single moms.
But guess what? I see, as a mother myself, I see more single men get praised for doing things that I have to do on a regular basis.
Because men don't do that.
Why? It's the question. That's why we
ask. Society standards. You know, like a man's job from inception has been: you go out there, you find a lion, you kill it, you bring it home for your family, and then you go do it again tomorrow.
You want me to tell you why that don't work? Because this is not 1920s no more.
It's not even 1920s. This is caveman
women
stuff,
fought for they women's rights,
but
the right to work and to do all of that. So you fought for the right to pay half these bills.
Right, but then
that's what you did.
If you look at what just passed, all that's got to be back to what it was.
So women do make a lot more money, but let's bring it back around to what we can do, you know, for our young men, right? And if you are hearing us right now on the radio, if you're on Facebook Live, definitely join us. Bring some conversations, comment, let us know what you think. Call us at 585-219-8889. You're now rocking out 100.9 FM WXIR Luv'N Situationships, right? So you guys are bringing up great points, right? We know that it takes both parties. It's going to take both parties in order to keep these kids out of jail, right? In order to stop the Kia boys and the Kia girls, we need Big Mama and we need Big Daddy, somebody. We need a community that's going to force these kids to realize their actions may not have an effect on you right now. You may get away right now, but the energy that you're bringing is definitely going to bring you to
everything comes full circle.
It comes back full circle, right? And eventually it's going to put you in a position to whereas 20 years from now, you're going to have to look back at the decisions you made when you're 16, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw the video where, like, I guess a Kia boy tried to take a car in front, and there was a group of men who took him out the car, and they stood him up, and they like whooped him.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. They like, and they gave him an old-fashioned ass like.
Yeah, because that's what he needed.
Yeah, and like they said, we're going to treat you like the child you are, who messes up.
What's crazy?
And they whooped him.
Yeah,
because like then a lot of people don't whoop their kids because of what CPS got going on. The kid can call CPS and you get your kids
snapped. Come get him
because you popped him in his mouth. Or I feel like whoop him.
So you ever y'all any of y'all watch Atlanta?
What Danny did, Don
yeah.
Glover.
So the last season, he did a lot of different things, right? He didn't go on the progress of his cousin who's the rapper or whatever. He did a lot of intermingled episodes. So there was this one episode where there was this black kid, right? His mom told him like, "Yo, go do the dishes. Take something out for me to cook. You feel me? I gotta work. When I get off of work, I'ma cook. Make sure my kitchen clean, right?" A lot of moms would tell us to do that growing up. Man, he got to the point where he was tired of it and ran away. Ran away, right? Ended up getting in trouble. Tried to come back. Mom was like, "No, I'm done." Called the cops. Cops came and got him and put him in the system. He went to this white lady house where they was eating raw chicken. thought they was cooking, right? Thought they was eating raw chicken.
What's the description of that woman's
putting it in flour and putting it in the microwave.
That sounds like
and they had a few kids. It was like two other black kids and other kids that was living. And it got to the point where he like, "Yo, I'm not used to this," and ended up running to killed them, ran them off the road or something like that, and went back home. His mom at work. He been through it the past couple of days. He was only there for like 3 days. You feel me? Cleaned up the entire kitchen.
I bet you
Mom had some food in the fridge for him. She came home. He did his homework. You feel me?
You never know what you got till it's gone.
You feel me? But these kids don't know
until they know.
But I just feel like black men, especially when it comes to their kids, should take more of the initiative. Like if your kid's mom don't allow you to see your kids, that's what they got courts for. Go fight for your kids.
That's right.
Go fight for your rights.
You are who you say you want to be. Go be that.
Right.
Go fight for your right. Like you could fight for your kid and win.
Yes,
Hello, I'm proof. Like you can go in there and fight and all of that. Like you don't let nobody tell you can't see your kids.
Now when we talk about fighting for your kids, we definitely want you to fight for your kids, right? But as young men or as men of our age, because we're a little bit older, right? If you were talking to a younger young man, somebody that's 16, 17, maybe early college, how would you guide them in picking the right woman, right? Because that's the key there. Yes. That's the key there. Because
you want me to tell you what's crazy?
Because we want to make sure that we cultivate families, right? We don't want to get we're at this position now where single parenting and co-parenting is something that's accepted, right? And that's causing the rift because somebody's always going to feel some type of way about the relationship, right? Until both people grow to a point where they're like, you know what? It's in the best interest of the child. But you have to go through so much before you get to that point. When we could just have a good family and raise our children together.
Right. So the message is we're not just trying to make, babies. We want to make family.
Or like, what if it's like a co-parenting situation though, where like we're not together, but this child will never not go without anything without knowing both of us.
I think, which is fine, but I think that the more the concept is meeting somebody and being intentional about making a family instead of just making babies.
So it's, I can't really say that I could give direction on how to pick a particular woman or the best woman. I'm 34 and still haven't mastered that. So
birthday next month.
I look at it like this. It's like everybody gonna come with the flaws.
Right.
You just gotta it's up to you to feel like you could tolerate it or not.
Absolutely.
And I feel like everybody might not be toxic, but got toxic traits.
Facts.
Like for me, I'm nonchalant. I can't really say if it's toxic or not, but to me it feels natural.
Some people it is.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like whatever floats your boat, particularly. But me personally, it's like sometimes it get oversaturated. Like because women with sex appeal and all of this stuff, it gets oversaturated because after a certain age, when you younger, it's fun, being able to get the girls and, knocking them down. And, oh, boy, I had the baddest one last night. You know how we used to talk. You see what I'm saying? But it get to the point where it's like, what could you do besides give me some average sex and a headache? At what point do we
headache first?
At what point does it become like, I need a woman that, it's like stimulate my mental? Like, because conversation is so lost, especially on dates. They all on their phones and they doing everything else. Like, You pull out a phone on a date with me. This is your last one.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
This
Now-
your last one.
I know, like, anytime I've been on a lot of them.
Okay.
I'm not
A lot of
happy
dates.
about how many. I don't even know.
I've been on a lot of
Serial
dates.
dating.
Yeah.
I've been on a lot
So,
of
like,
dates.
when at the beginning of the date, I'll say, okay, I'll go through my phone one last time, and then I'll say D&D, and I'm turning it on his face. This phone is now irrelevant. It's me and you. And then
That's
they take
wonderful.
offense to that.
Yeah,
Really?
because it's like, why you got your phone
Right,
turned up
yeah.
there?
You know
They
what?
Why don't you want me to see?
They
This is-
expect somebody to call. They expect,
they
you
expect
know,
it,
a
but
text
then-
message.
Yeah,
But you want me to
know
tell
what?
you, my response really is, first of all, it's like, stop asking me girlfriend questions.
What's a
Whoa.
girlfriend question?
Whoa,
Who's calling? Like, who's on your phone? Don't ask me girlfriend
Because
questions.
we
Don't
are
ask
nothing to each
like-
That is a girlfriend question.
Like, don't ask me girlfriend questions because I'm gonna tell you quick. It's your competition. Keep your head on the swivel. You gotta understand, like, when
Keep your head on a swivel. I
Shots
ain't gonna
fired,
lie.
ladies.
keep your head on the swivel because,
Big
like,
him in the building.
when you
Big
dating,
him energy.
people get dating confused. Like, you could go on 4 dates with 4 different people in the week. If you're not
I have.
monogamously dating somebody,
That's very
who
true.
is to say I gotta only date you?
That's very true.
Like, I could go on as many. If you see me out, mind your business. I'm having open interviews.
That's
No,
very
that's
true.
true.
And that's-
Listen,
that's the
honestly,
same thing
a
on
man
her
can
side,
put
huh?
his phone up or down. Honestly, if we're not exclusive, I'm not going to
You-
look
why
at your
you
phone.
worry about it?
Yeah, because I don't look at no man phone. I
crazy.
learned my lesson.
You draw yourself
Honestly,
crazy.
I want to look
Go.
at my phone just out.
I don't go on no
The
man
thing with me
phone.
is that everybody who's in my phone and contacting me, they all know the code.
What is the code? Child,
No,
I'm
that's
about
not
to
for
do
you
this.
to know. We know it.
Oh, the men. Okay.
Just like how when y'all go to the bathroom, all 7 of y'all got to go. I know all 7 of y'all don't got to go to the bathroom, but
So one of the reasons I brought up cultivating black families, right? Because they said in 2017, 26% of black households lived in high poverty neighborhoods, as compared to just 5% of white households. High poverty neighborhoods are typically characterized by poorer quality schools, less access to jobs, social networks, healthcare, higher rates of crime, pollution, congestion, and noise. More evidence suggests that boys tend to be more sensitive to their environments growing up, which often materializes in behavioral issues, lower educational attainment, lower earnings, and more, right? So if we have these families, right, if we build, they say he who finds a man, or a man who finds a wife,
Woman find a
Find a
good
good
thing.
you feel me? Because what you essentially are doing, right? When we young, like you said, yo, we having fun, but you're not focused.
At all.
When you find a wife and you find a family, you're able to focus.
It's how do
on
you?
building,
The thing is,
right?
it's like, okay, so Drake had this line where he said, "I could meet a girl tonight, gallery of credit card swipes, and I don't even know if she a wife." That was me for a long time. That was me for a long time because you gotta go through the bad to weed them out.
That's a fact.
And that's why I think the dating stage is so important because you gotta. How you know you're making the right decision if you only got one candidate?
right.
As young men, yeah.
Sports is
So we have
competitive.
to teach our young men that as they're growing, they're gonna go through that stage. I feel like everybody deserves to go through that stage,
Yeah,
men and
absolutely.
women, right? But we have to teach our men about maybe trying not to have babies at a younger
Men
age.
need
That
to heal.
part.
Men
we
need
do.
to learn how to heal. We go from one woman to the next. Men need to take
Thinking it's going to
time
solve the
That's
problem
it,
when all
that's a
doesn't
fact.
to
add
heal
on to
because
it.
I know grown men who still scarred from a girl that in their 20s. You see what I'm saying? Because they never healed properly. So
Right.
now every girl that come after is her.
Yeah.
Men need to take time to heal after relationships or situationships or whatever they could call it.
Whatever
Tender,
that
they
was
call it in your
last
feelings.
week.
Can we get the theme song real quick?
Love and situationship.
Yeah.
Is that official?
Unofficially official. You feel me? Unofficially
I'm
official.
saying, if you want to cut it, we can. I'm just,
But I
But
think
you're
like,
right, though.
men need to take like for me. I take myself out on dates.
No, me too.
Men
Yeah, me
need to
too.
get.
Yeah.
You know how women take that me time to get back in touch with themselves.
Absolutely.
I
all
feel like
that.
men should do that too.
Massages, petties, manis, all that.
On my soul, I do.
Yep.
So
Oh,
we
I saw
gotta,
it.
so we gotta teach these young men that it's healthy to do these things because, like you said, society has told them that they're one
It's
way.
effeminate.
That they can't do that. You feel
Right.
me?
Yeah.
They can't get pedicures and manicures. They can't go
I
out
mean,
and enjoy nature.
You got
feel me?
everybody telling us what men supposed to be and do.
Right.
I
It's
got my butt
crazy.
waxed a couple years ago for my birthday.
That is TMI.
Absolutely TMI.
But you know, you got
Child.
you got women, everybody else that's not a man
You got
telling
dreads,
you,
bro. I don't know.
They weren't this long then. I'm just saying.
you know, they telling you what a man's supposed to be, or a man can't do this, or a man not supposed to do that, or
Yeah.
a man can't do this. I mean, we was raised that men ain't supposed to cry.
So we gotta show them.
No emotion at all.
So we
No
have to
emotion.
show them, right?
Yeah. I let my
mentorship
sons know.
programs.
See, back in the day when we was growing up, we had that at Baden Street. See, we could flick on the TV and see family-oriented homes and Family Matters and Cosby shows and stuff like that. We don't got that. We got drama TV.
It's all the Kardashians.
We got
all the Kardashians.
40 loving hip hops.
Yeah.
And 37 Kardashians.
How many family sitcoms you see that nurtures black men? That got black men as leading role.
But you know what? But this is kind of why I think it's important to have this type of topic, because that's why we're kind of trying to figure out how do we get, especially black men,
it starts with
to
a discussion.
want to stay in the homes or stay and create families, so that we don't have just all this other stuff.
It can start with black women wanting black men in the home,
or it can start with black men wanting to be there. Right?
I mean, it can go both ways. Though.
I'm just saying, like,
because how many women you see that I don't need a man?
But this topic, right, is on black men, like without
black men
interference with black women, right? Without blaming black women, how can black men stay in the home?
Can I hit you with something? Ooh. Okay, so by you saying without blaming black women,
that's right. Without blaming black women in it at all.
Let's take
don't
it like
your
this.
Mama in it.
And I'm not blaming y'all for this. This is more of a us problem by the generations over us that told us it had to be this way.
Okay.
But why is it so hard for a woman to understand that something's wrong with her man and get it?
How do we keep black men in the house without blaming black women?
Understand.
It's the question. You can't answer a question with a question.
Okay, so
that's the question.
It starts with understanding.
Yeah, talk to him.
But does it start with understanding yourself?
Well, because,
as a black man.
Because you know what's crazy? Diallo posted on Facebook. He said, black women, talk to me. If you had to give a young black man advice on how to treat the sisters, what would you tell him, right? Because essentially by asking that question, right, it forces black men to look at themselves and what they're doing to women or how they're treating women, right? What do you want us to do? Am I doing what you want us to do? And if I'm not
or if we're messing up, make that known.
See, a weekly conversation in relationships should be had.
Right.
Absolutely.
And somebody actually
once
posted,
a week, 1 hour.
I love a good check-in
conversation. That would be everything in the world.
Somebody posted. She said, "Honor yourself by knowing who you are and what you want and need before you step to a woman. If she accepts prayerfully, she has done her work as well, and she will thereby honor herself in the relationship." And that's a perfect idea. The weekly meetings.
State of us.
So you got to know who you are first. But then you go from there. But that weekly meeting is something that is so essential. Outside of date time, outside of, y'all chilling, y'all have to have some type of meeting where y'all come to an understanding.
And at the end of the meeting, give yourselves a grade.
But fellas, if we are going to do that, we have to be open. And women, if we are going to do that, we have to be accepting.
Men got to open themselves up more emotionally to certain things when it comes to dealing with women. Because it's like, if you too emotional, you'll catch a label like tender in your feelings.
What's the word simp they use?
Simp.
I hate that.
Stuff like that. But I feel like you're supposed to be emotionally open with your woman.
You got to make yourself vulnerable to be in a relationship.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't openly emotional with your woman, I don't understand. Then who could you be with? Like, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's comfortability.
I'm probably gonna cry at my wedding.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. If I don't cry, we're not getting married.
I'll want to cry, but I'm be so drunk. It's not even gonna matter.
Like if I'm not up there, if I'm not crying,
part 2.
Yeah, we gonna have to reinvent because something wrong.
All right, well I'll make sure you're there because you might have to be the one to hold me up. My plan is I'm gonna be up there smacked.
I got you. And I'm doing a 2-step on the way down.
So I was reading this book. I gotta finish it, but I was reading this book and it actually mentioned weekly meetings for couples, right? Another thing that it mentioned, this is advice that anybody can take while you're out there. If you're in a relationship and you have these weekly meetings, during the meeting, before or after, if it's a good, or do it before, because you never know how the meeting's gonna go. Do it before. Write something positive that you love about that person, right? And put it in a box and fill it up as much as you can. So when you have these weekly meetings, if it goes bad, you can reach into that box and read what you love about each person to kind of bring you back to a space of a stable environment.
And I know with my last attempt at a relationship, I said attempt. That was something I prioritized. Was an end of the week state of us meeting. The one thing I didn't do right is before we started talking, we graded the week after the conversation. I didn't know if the conversation influenced that at all. See, so like I know if and when, and I'm hoping soon that I should just so happen to find myself in a relationship again. That's something I'm going to prioritize.
So the question was, what keep black men in the home?
Or wanting to create family.
Okay, so it all starts with the black man. The black man has to want. to be there.
That's the one to be.
That's where it starts at.
And by understanding the
Because
want, we have to heal.
my thing is, don't get into something knowing you got different intentions.
Right.
Because it's like,
That's good.
why date a woman knowing that you ain't gonna do nothing but play with her?
Right.
And
If
then
you're
you
younger,
get,
we know but if you're
you gotta
younger
go through
part
those
of the-
mistakes.
You're
gotta
younger
make those.
generation.
So
right?
I look at
So-
it like this, like when you with a woman, and I ask women this all the time, like, if you never been with a good man, how you know how to be with one? Because if every man you had, same thing with men. If you ain't never had a good woman, everything you had has just been terrible. How you know how to be with a good woman if you ain't never had one? Because you can't treat them like these women, or you can't treat them like this man. Like, you got to handle them differently.
Right.
So if you ain't never had one, how you know how to be with one?
And I could speak on that because, like, I know in my last attempt at a relationship, like, the one thing she would never do is ask me how I'm doing. Even though I was falling apart and she knew it.
Problematic to me.
Yeah, but like, I'm like, you clearly see me falling apart, and all I need you to do is ask me how I'm doing.
That's so crazy to me. That you're not the first guy I've ever heard say
Yeah.
that. I've heard other men say that too.
'Cause
Like,
we can't tell
you never
you.
asked me how my day
You
was.
wanna know what's crazy?
Which is so crazy to me because
The
I'm
era
like,
when we were raised in,
how do you
weakness was
not-
fault.
Word.
Like,
first
Word.
thing you say to somebody, hey, how are you? How's your
No,
day?
but-
Like, that's because that's second nature to me. It's always weird to me when other people say
but
that.
Rocky, and I'll tell you this: to ask somebody, "Hey, how you doing?" And
Yeah.
then like, "Baby, how are you doing?" Like, it's different.
Actually
and then when
mean
it
it.
comes from you, like,
Yeah, because you definitely didn't ask me how my puppy doing.
you got a sick puppy.
He's fine, thank you.
You got a
He's
sick
getting
puppy?
better.
Like-
Nah,
I had to open the door.
He
That's
got
why
hit by
I
a
missed
car.
the
I
whole
just feel-
weekend
okay,
conversation.
it's so like we know, like, in this generation of women, you know, they got the concept of, you know, I don't need a man for nothing, which is true, because then they got the mindset, what you could do for me that I can't do for myself, which is cool.
That's definitely
And,
done for me
and I'm gonna
lately?
give you the answer, nothing, because you can literally do everything I can do for you.
That's
for
my answer
yourself.
too.
Yeah.
When
So,
a man say that, I'd be like, nothing.
My thing is,
Go be by yourself.
My thing is, it's like this: is men need to feel wanted in a home.
And what is that?
Okay, so what I mean by wanted is because if a woman can do anything by herself, usually, she has this thing that I call independent women syndrome, to where she can't accept somebody else doing something for her because she's so used to doing it by herself. So it kind of comes off ungrateful.
Yeah.
So what if it's the opposite?
Well, he shouldn't be that sassy.
No. What if it's the opposite? You meet a woman and she wants you to do almost any and everything for her. Does that run you away?
No, I'm gonna tell you what it like. We'd have to sit down and figure this out. 'Cause
Okay, so it's a double-edged sword.
Why we
with
gotta
that.
figure it out? You just said you don't want an independent woman. Now, oh honey, I need you to do this and
I
this
don't.
and this.
But the
and this
thing
and
about it, there's a difference between
meet
an
me in the
independent
middle, but
woman.
you got to come with your all.
There's a.
See what I mean?
You got your independent
See what I
woman,
mean?
and then you got a woman that is. What I feed you is all you got to eat.
What's the problem with that? You don't want me to be independent.
If it's that case, then you better be at home being a wife and raising these kids.
Jesus. Ain't no in
Because
between,
the thing
Lord.
is with me is like, you know how it's levels to certain things where it'd be like, oh, I'm not doing like wife things for a boyfriend. Men should have those same standards.
I agree.
I'm not doing husband things for
I agree.
in a dating
I agree.
stage, they
Yeah.
want you to do boyfriend stuff. Like if we ain't together, I'm not paying for your nails.
That's crazy, though.
I paid for the movie. That's enough.
So I gotta pay for your nail because mind you, you're dating.
Nobody
I gotta
said you
pay
got
for your,
to, but let me
so
tell you something.
I'm gonna pay for your
Let me tell
nails for you to
something.
look good for the next guy.
Your competition
I'm
is.
not doing it.
Your competition
And he
is.
can do that. But see,
And he
that's
can
where
find
where you
somebody
get-
else to
that's
do
where
it.
You get
Yeah,
the
and
top
they
tier
is.
women. You get the top tier women that do it on their own.
Yeah,
You feel me?
but
They do
we
their
don't
own
want to.
nails.
I want to
You
spend
feel
money
me?
when I want to. I don't need
feel
nobody to dictate when I spend it. Like if you
That-
tell me that you going to the nail
that's-
But
salon,
then don't be independent at the same time. Child,
you
I
see what I'm
don't
saying?
even understand.
Like if I ask you what you doing, you like I'm going to the nail salon. It's up to me to cash app you or not. Granted, you gonna go see the
I ain't
man
got-
who cash app you anyway.
I ain't got cash.
Because
You
the
know what I'm
one,
saying?
because the one that may be cash apping you, he might not have this good intentions. He might be cash apping.
That's very
You want to know because he got throwaway money. He ain't got 3 kids at
He got
home.
scammer money.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
He like, I'm about to get her nails done. I'm gonna have her by Friday, and she gonna be heartbroken in 2 months.
Aw,
2
that
months.
sucks.
It take that long?
I know.
I'm just saying. So it's like, yeah, anybody
Give
can
it
throw
4
the money,
weeks.
but it's about the intentions behind it. Like I could give you $40, but that could have been my last, and he gave you the whole 160. That's just pocket change for him.
Yeah.
It's all about the intentions that's done
Right.
with it. And I feel like black men need to know how to court black
Yes,
women.
that's a fact.
When y'all in a relationship,
Yeah.
one night out of the week should be date night. Like we need to learn how to
Right.
court women.
That's a
like,
fact.
well, not me, because I'm great at it.
Let 'em
But
know.
Here we
you
go.
gotta
Big
know
him
how
in
to
the
cook.
building.
Him
Done.
energy.
I'm done.
Hey, man,
He's on
listen.
court.
I
Yeah.
give
Well-
date nights a name,
Well,
a title.
fellas, we do appreciate y'all for coming in. Y'all definitely got to come back. We're going to
Of
continue
course.
this conversation. We're trying to build our brothers up as much as
Yes, we
possible.
are.
Hopefully, y'all learned a little bit something out of there. Get the recidivism down. Learn about being yourself and getting to your true form. You know, being intentional with what you want out of these relationships. All of that. It's more that we're going to bring to y'all. We got Rick Tony in the building. Big Him in the building.
Big him.
Miss Raquel.
Me, I just want to leave one message to our young black men who are growing up.
Pull your pants up.
Pull your pants, but also you are not who they say you are.
Looking
You can
like
be
a fool
better.
with your pants on the
I'm
ground.
just saying. You can be you are better than who they say you are. You have so much more to live for. So listen.
And buy the
We gonna
women
keep doing
flowers. Buy the women
Because one thing
flowers.
about me,
I paid for
I
my
want
grandma's
flowers.
on today.
And don't get her a dozen. See, me, I'm a 50 rose type of guy.
Nah, see, back
on
when I
a
was
date with
Big him
back when I was a
energy.
player, I used to get a chick one rose and tell her to come get the other 11.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? That's
You
how I
know
look at it.
No, let me
Work for
tell
these
you
other
something.
11.
We call it 50 roses
Yeah.
in a vibe.
You already know what it is.
I love
Love
these
and
roses
Situationships.
now.
100.9 FM, WXIR. We out.
We out.
We out.
This is 100.9 FM. WXIR, Extreme Independent Radio. In Rochester, NY, and online at 109WXIR.com.